M4 Pro MacBook Pro, just like you guys requested. I've got a couple of units coming our way. One of them I bought out of pocket. I really wanted to see what this whole Nanotexture display is all about. Turns out that my unit got delayed. I ordered a custom MacBook, Nanotexture panel and a 96-watt brick. That's coming on Monday, so that's not gonna work for us. But I'll try to figure out this Nanotexture situation for you guys. So this is my unit for now, because aside from the fact that I've been mainly using an Air since my iPad transition as my daily machine for now, I feel like my M1 Pro is still capable of so much. To be honest, I don't think this will be a laptop for me, but I do feel like this is a laptop for the Intel-based folks. This is it. However, I think the base model M4 Pro might make a bit more sense to your wallet. I guess let's go unbox it. Alright, not to confuse you guys, I got the M4 base model, but I've also got the M4 Pro chip base model. So we're gonna be unboxing this one. This is the 14-inch. I like 14-inch MacBook Pros a lot better. That's just me. Portability wise, I just think it comes in a lot more clutch. Also talk about why, if you're getting the M4 Max, you're better off getting the 16-inch. Later. Well, I'll talk about that later. This is it. Still the same paper. M4 Pro base model. Cables, space black, fully spaced out black. That's very, very, very nice. Love this. So what I'm planning on doing is putting the M4, the M4 Pro, and the M1 Pro all side to side, and just compare a few things for you guys so you can take a look at the difference. This is nice. Stickers, I guess it's no longer a thing. We all know that. We're all aware they're trying to cut on paper. Makes sense. Literally now we just get a little setup guide and some informational stuff. The brick, it's a 70-watt-hour brick. You can get the 96 one if you're interested. I'll do a little comparison so you guys can take a look at the numbers. So yeah, I got space black because a lot of people like the space black. I am a fan of silver. Still is a little bit of a fingerprint magnet, but they're getting better. So space black, guys, absolutely beautiful. I have a backup for this. I'm going to transfer literally everything from my M1 Pro into this, and we'll take a look at it together, right? Yes, sir. Okay, I was lucky, huh? Yeah, because I need the Nanotexture in that so I can show the difference. We got lucky. This is our PR MacBook, so Nanotexture panel in here. Yes. The Nanotexture panel. You guys can see that right there. Okay, so now we can talk about what's new. By the way, I just made a story asking you guys what you wanted to know. So let's hope you guys give me some good stuff so I can answer your question. The M4 MacBook Pros in general come with really good upgrades. For starters, this here has an optional Nanotexture display. A display that helps you minimize glare. I absolutely love this at first glance. It really does a great job. For $150, it can be worth it for a lot of people, but to be honest, it personally never really bothered me the amount of glare the panel outputs. And now less than ever, because the new MacBook display pushes 1000 nits for SDR content. The difference compared to my M1 Pro is quite noticeable. I do wish they had tandem OLED to help reduce ghosting, but it's really not a big deal. A lot of you guys have been asking about the Nanotexture, okay? So M4 with Nanotexture, M4 Pro without Nanotexture. Let's do this properly. OLED test. I know it's an OLED test, but at least you guys can see the colors and the difference in the panels. So that's from this point of view, okay? Looks pretty cool. Now let me move it at an angle. Here's what you get at an angle. Now here's a different angle. And here's what it looks, okay? If I'm moving around, you can see the difference with the light bar I have on top. See that? Softbox there. I move more here. You can see that. Hope this helps, guys. All computers now come in space black or silver, no more space gray. And they also start at either 16 gigabytes of RAM for the M4 base model or 24 gigabytes of RAM for the M4 Pro base model. A factor that genuinely extends the longevity of these MacBooks. Although Apple went even further by finally adding proper memory bandwidth to all the models. The M4 chip gets a memory bandwidth of 120 gigabytes per second, but the M4 Pro a total of 273 gigabytes per second. Memory bandwidth is important because it's what allows you to access memory faster. I think after all the iterations since the M1 Pro, they finally figured out how to make the perfect MacBook Pro. They also added new Thunderbolt 5 ports at 120 gigabytes per second, only for the Pro and Max models, but the M4 base model gets its Thunderbolt port on the right hand side of back. So out of the box, the M4 variant now has better external support, the same as the M4 Pro version. The webcams have been upgraded with a 12 megapixel unit delivering center stage. The webcams finally make a lot more sense. I mean, just compared to the M1 Pro, you can see the difference. I think in low light conditions, it's a lot more noticeable. Notice that we have quite a bit of MacBooks in the studio. What I'm gonna do to be able to differentiate them is that the M4 is gonna rock a purple wallpaper. The M4 with the Nanotexture is just going to simply stay with the same charcoal wallpaper that I have. And then obviously we have the space gray on the right here that I'm talking to you guys. That's totally fine. You guys can tell them apart. And then we have the M4 Pro, which again, it's in space black charcoal. I think this is the smartest thing to do. Now here's my buyer's guide and my recommendation. I do have to say Apple has made it confusing because there are so many options. When I was building mine, I was like, holy, there's a lot. Things you should know: the base model M4 only comes with one fan compared to two. Your machine will be louder and your thermal capacity will be smaller. SSDs on the M4 and M4 Pro are not the same. The M4 Pro has a faster SSD and this helps with memory swap when you need more RAM. However, the cool thing is that the M4 now comes with 16 gigabytes of RAM, so do you really need faster SSDs? Aside from that, I don't particularly recommend upgrading storage on the M4 model. Keep your price nice and low. Maybe spending an extra $150 for the Nanotexture panel could be good. On the other hand, M4 Pro could be the chip that is worth upgrading in my opinion. You get an extra 2 performance cores and an extra 4 GPU cores. It might have the best price to performance ratio. Already the difference in performance between the M4 and M4 Pro is massive. I think M4 Pro offers people much more bang for their buck. But remember that we are currently seeing the M4 chip absolutely destroy the M1 Max Pro, a computer that was $3,500 back then. With this in mind, the M4 Max is insane. It's a lot of laptop for a lot of people. The CPU in that goes well with a 16-inch model. I would avoid the 14-inch with Max chips. I recently discovered a forum of people talking about how having a smaller chassis limits the potential in terms of performance and thermals since the Max chips are so powerful. What I mean by that is, well, the power between a 14-inch M4 Max and 16-inch M4 Max is noticeable, which makes a lot of sense. Look, my buyer's guide and what I recommend is simple. Get the M4 MacBook Pro if you need the power, but you don't necessarily need a crazy amount of power all the time. If you're not pushing your computer really hard, the M4 is going to be an amazing laptop and it'll last for a while, especially because they did it right this year, unlike with the M3. This is the laptop for most people who want a MacBook Pro. I think that the M4 Pro MacBook Pro is for those who want the power at all times. Most certainly those rocking Intel-based devices. It runs cooler, wider, better battery life, has more RAM. I did promise you guys a test, so this is a 70 watt-hour brick. And it's 10:09. Batteries at 9%. All right, let's see how long it takes. All right, so here you go. An hour later with the 70 watt-hour brick, you get to 82%. All right, and here goes the 96 watt-hour charger. 10:58 a.m. we are at 9%. All right, and then an hour later we're at 89%. Okay, so the first test was done with the M4 Pro, and now the second test with the 96 watt power brick is done with the M4. I'm not quite sure if the fast charger is worth it. They both have a 72.4 watt-hour lithium battery, if I remember correctly. I don't know. You tell me. Did I miss something? Both laptops have all the apps closed. Everything was the same. I'm not sure why it's not that much better. I mean, dear Intel-based users, I know a lot of you have been waiting for that sweet upgrade, and a lot of you are also probably devs. Let me tell you something. In my books, you've won. You've proven yourselves to be someone that cares about longevity, about how long you keep a laptop for, and you care about power since most likely you got a good spec'd out Intel-based MacBook Pro years ago when they were great and the price per performance was
costly. Anyways, this year I personally think it's the year to upgrade. You'll get way better battery life, much better thermals, almost no noise, crazy longevity, and a chassis with minor upgrades that has proven itself over the course of the past 4 years. Now there's one thing I want to mention. The M1 Pro MacBook Pro is still king. However, as I was filming and running some quick tests with this, I started having doubts. This is the laptop that Apple took all of our complaints, all of our feedback, all the negativity we threw at them, and practically made the M1 Pro look like it's on steroids. In terms of performance, I hate Geekbench numbers because they never tell the full story. The M1 Max Pro gets destroyed with the base model M4. Let that sink in. But for people with those laptops, those are still way more than amazing laptops.
I was just gonna talk about these results, but look at the difference between the Nanotexture and the non-Nanotexture. That's pretty cool. Anyways, hear me out on this, okay? Very important. I'm running an Xcode benchmarking compilation build type of project that allows me to know how long it takes to build this massive project. The interesting thing that you guys are probably going to appreciate, because I did it on all these computers, is that the difference between the M1 Pro and the M4 Pro is about 70 seconds. Okay, let me show you guys the results. Look at the results for the M1 Pro, okay? 179 seconds, okay, to build this entire Xcode project. This is the M4 with the Nanotexture, 142 seconds. And then we have the other M4 with 146 seconds. All that to show you guys the M4 Pro at 109 seconds to build that entire project. So 4 years later, a 70-second difference is what you're gonna be getting on a massive project like this. You guys let me know if it's worth it. I don't think it's particularly worth it if you're coming from the M1 Pro, unless you're doing massive projects all the freaking time. But if you're coming from an Intel-based machine, this is it for you guys. It really is.
It's a very small percentage of the population that will truly benefit from the additional power. M1 Pro is so capable, but from an Intel perspective and power-hungry user, it's a good laptop to upgrade to.
And I'm referring to this. The M4 Pro is what you guys should upgrade to.
Besides, as much as I hate synthetic benchmarks, at some point the numbers don't lie if you want that longevity like you Intel people preach. I mean, just as an example, the increase of memory bandwidth assures the longevity of this device. Memory bandwidth allows you to access memory faster, right? By the way, this refers to the amount of data that can be transferred between the memory, so RAM, and the CPU per second. With Apple Intelligence and software getting much more complex, the M4 Pro, in my opinion, represents the best MacBook for those with the older MacBooks that needs the power. The only thing I would say to devs is that I know for a fact it's still a bit of a transition to migrate from an x86 platform to ARM. I know companies and devs that still need the x86 platforms, but it's a lot less of a hassle compared to what it used to be. So the big question is the M1 Pro worth it instead? Look, I can put both of these laptops side to side, give you all the benchmarks you need, like Geekbench CPU scores, Geekbench GPU scores, even show you the difference in transfer speeds with heavy files.
This is one of those tests that's super inaccurate. The only reason I'm getting the same transfer speeds between the M1 Pro and the M4 Pro is because I don't have a Thunderbolt 5 cable, but the amount of people that don't have a Thunderbolt 5 cable laying around is quite huge. So you're gonna get the same transfer speeds between one or the other. I'm transferring like 21 gigabytes of footage, so just keep that in mind.
At the end of the day, I think that if you have an M1 Pro, keep it. It's not for you unless you really need that power and you think the M1 Pro is starting to fail on you. I get it, people's workflows evolve and software gets more complicated, but I bet that's a very small percentage of you. Chances are your Xcode projects or your DaVinci project still runs pretty freaking well.
So I posted this story about 6 to 7 hours ago. There's about 40,000 of you that have seen the story, and there's a lot of responses. So I'm gonna be answering some of your questions directly with the MacBooks. Question number 1, Xcode developer performance. Let's get to it. Let me maybe show you how long it takes for an existing project to open that I haven't imported yet. Rick and Morty app, open, trust and open. Boom, it's that fast. Now we can go ahead and probably run this. Build succeeded, opening on the iPhone 16 Pro. Man, this is just a project I've been working on. I haven't had time to keep working on it, but it's very quick. And then maybe in contrast to maybe something like the M1 Pro, I'll just quickly show you. Open project, trust and open, boom. That's how long it takes. And then we can just go ahead and run this project on the iPhone 16 Pro. Building. Build succeeded. It's gonna open right here. Emulator. It's gonna do its thing. And there you go. The M4 Pro is slightly faster, not by much, but keep in mind this is a small project. The larger they get, the slower the M1 Pro and will get, right? The difference in time will increase, but other than that, like, it's honestly the same thing. Everything loads pretty quickly. I wouldn't upgrade just because of the new chip, right? Worth upgrading from an M1 Max? I think, you know, from the M1 Max, we saw that the M4 completely destroys it, but I'm already telling you guys that the upgrade from the M1 Pro to the M4 Pro is not really that much worth it. Unless you're a heavy video editor, you are someone that uses LLMs and machine learning a lot, you render projects a lot with 3D and 4D graphic design, whatever you guys want to call it, right? And yes, that's very much worth it for you. You are going to be speeding your workflow by a lot because you're pushing these machines to an extreme. But if you're just the average Joe, or even like, you know, a developer that does web development, even Xcode and things like that, I personally don't think it's worth it. For someone that has the M1 Max, you already spent that much money, so much money on that computer, just let it depreciate. Keep using it, depreciate that laptop, and let it do its thing. I would not recommend that. Temperatures. I got you. Temperature for the M1 Pro, I'm running the Xcode Benchmark. This is good for the CPU. Normally, MacBooks tend to get super hot in the top. Right now, we are looking at 41 degrees. The max and the CPU temperature is pushing 97 to 98 degrees. And here goes the test for the M4 Pro. The fans are already kicking in. It's a bit louder than the M1 Pro, that's for sure. 39 degrees on the top, 40 degrees now. And it's running a lot cooler at 79, 81 degrees for the CPU internally. Could you perform long format 4K video editing, handle 60 megabytes? I'm guessing you mean 60 megapixels raw image editing. Let me show you. I have a 40 megapixel camera and let's get to it. Stock video editing. This is a massive project. This is our desktop video going live next week, I believe. This is what it looks like on the M4 Pro. Very nice. This is an H22 file format log that we color graded. Everything loads pretty quickly, fairly well. The nodes load super quickly. Super nice. I can go ahead and go in the edit page and just start playing things.
We calculated
There
accordingly.
you go. How long it takes for the playback. So I just opened this, so with time it sort of gets used to it and accustomed, and things run a lot quicker.
Because it's also wireless, so it makes
massive project, like I said.
thought the 81 Pro from OnePlus was only for Macs, but
go here,
and it makes
zoom here,
because
there. You can even cut this here, go there.
Very much
back.
recommended. So what we
super quick, super quick.
very much recommended.
And now the M1 Pro. Let's open this. Take a look at that. Run it.
And because
Super nice. Lower the volume. I can go ahead and stretch this here like we did.
so
Same format, same everything. It's the same project. Lives on our cloud. I'm going to color. Loads very quickly. This is a big project on top of that. It's doing very well compared to the M4 Pro.
some people can see it straight away.
Very smooth playback, very smooth scrolling. Oh, lag a bit. Did we lag?
But he says
No.
he really doesn't mind.
Oh,
Because
okay.
this is how
Very nice.
the referrals on the
There's lag.
look in the middle.
3 frames lags all the time. Oh,
Then he has
yeah. There you go. So that's the difference in DaVinci. When it comes to Lightroom, here's an SD card. I'm importing these pictures I just literally took. Let's import these into the M1 Pro. Very quick, very fast, very nice. Editing on Lightroom. Guys, the only way you guys are gonna see a difference in between these laptops, it's if you start opening Photoshop, a ton of layers, crazy edits, like insane. And even at that, the difference is really not gonna be that massive. I can copy this, I like it like that, and I can, you know, paste it here. bam, and just tweak it right here. That's a freaking nice picture. I really like that. Can even copy this and copy it here, and then we just go to another picture, bam, and then there you go, looking super nice. You know, it's very quick, very smooth. I really like it. Bam. M4 Pro, here we go. SD card in. Let's import this. Let's see how long it takes. Importing, bam. I think it's almost just as fast, so that's very good. And now we go to our editing. Boom, editing, quick. Everything's gonna be super smooth. You know, everything's gonna be awesome. I can get rid of the here. Let's see, the vignetting. You know, I can copy this and maybe show you guys another picture. Maybe this one that I just took. It's a bit too yellowish, greenish. Okay, there you go. I like that. And you know, I can even go here and change this. There you go. This is why, guys, I don't like synthetic benchmarks, because they never tell the full story. As soon as you see numbers, you're like, oh my god, it's gonna be so much faster, so much power. That is just not the case. All right. But yeah, very nice. Both laptops are just really good, man. Apple just make great stuff.
Does the computer get hot when using programs like Lightroom and Final Cut Pro in the base model? Let's use DaVinci with Lightroom.
For now, we have Lightroom open, so I'm playing with it, and then DaVinci. The video's been running for a few minutes now. Temperature 47. I'm sure it's gonna touch the 50 degrees internally of the CPU. Now the computer doesn't really feel hot. I'm seeing 35 degrees right now. If you have these open and just check the bottom, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Video's still running. Yeah, it doesn't really get hot. It'll for sure get hot after like a certain amount of time. Like if I'm editing for like two hours, I'm touching 50 degrees. But other than that, it's not gonna bother you much, to be honest. DaVinci and Lightroom open, nothing else. All right, Chrome is not really, there's nothing here. So yeah.
How would it react under heavy load? For example, 30+ tabs open, 3+ windows of whatever apps, I guess, and other apps. Let's do it.
Heavy load. You want to see heavy load? Okay, so DaVinci opened. Whatever, this will do its thing. Lightroom open. Let's open Google Chrome. I don't know. Let's just start opening tabs. Just random stuff. Open. 26 tabs open. We have Lightroom running. This is still running. Let's make it roll the video. Let's open Xcode. All right, everything is doing pretty good. Activity, let's open the activity monitor. Let's try to see what's going on. You know, this thing's about to go crazy. Rick and Morty open project. Let's run that right now. It's building. I have Lightroom playing in the back. DaVinci just running the video. It's skipping frames. Not really. It's doing pretty well. Let's go back to Xcode. Where is my simulator? How is it going? Oh, it's almost fully built. Now let's say if I'm watching a video. Wow, MKBHD, great. So go back to Lightroom, paste the preset right here, edit it. Wow, it's so quick. And then simulator. Oh, simulator is still building the project. We can go back to Chrome, watching the video. DaVinci, how's this doing? Oh, no skipping frames, so that's pretty good. Guys, I can go on forever. Like, heavy load. You are more than good, my friend. And this is what the physical memory swap and all the RAM stuff looks like.
Do you still use external storage even with the new Mac? Yes, I do. Let me show you.
Yes, sir. This is what I use, a T1 Shield from Samsung. I've been using this for a year now. I usually just grab 512 gigabytes of storage on the laptops and stuff. I don't need more than that because a lot of footage lives in here, and I'm good with that. I have enough room with 500 to code and do whatever I need to do on the laptop.
Is the M4 base model suitable for 4K video editing with Premiere Pro or Resolve? Let me show you.
Same project, okay, log file, color graded 422 footage from the FX3. Massive timeline right here. This is a 14-minute video around. You guys can see it's running well on the M4 base model. It's lagging a bit, as you guys can see right there. Maybe we can go into color. Go here, maybe try to edit that color. Oh, it's a bit jumpy, just a bit, not too much up to now. But this is what it looks like. It's very doable. I'm going to something else. It's taking time. Another frame much later in the video. Takes time to load, but we're getting there. It's getting there. getting there. Boom, there you go. I can jump here, change the temperature. Very fast, very fast, very responsive. Fairlight. Okay, I can go back here, keep looking at the video. It's a bit choppy, but not much. It's very workable, very doable. Just keep in mind, guys, that we shoot like with high-res files, so I don't know what you guys are shooting with. Just know that it's handling very well for a base model laptop.
Final verdict. Look, my verdict is simple. Okay, I think that Apple took a look at what they did with the M1, the M2, the M3 chips. Basically, they took 2 steps back, recreated something, and took 4 steps forward, right? The M4 really is that, in my opinion. It's a chassis that they've been practically using for the past 4 years. A chip, right? The base architecture is something that they've been using again for the past 4 years, and they've created an amazing laptop, in my opinion. So really, I think the best laptop you can buy right now is the M4 Pro MacBook Pro base model. It starts at 24 gigabytes of unified memory with 512 gigabytes of storage. Being the 4th iteration, like I said, of what they released 4 years ago, probably makes this the final best model they can make out of this chassis. I guess this is to be continued. It's a hard one to pass, I know. I might or might not be keeping mine as my new daily. We'll see. I'm a bit nostalgic with the M1 Pro, and I'm also currently still using a MacBook Air. Look, all I wanted for you guys with this video is that I hope it really helps you guys, helps you make the smart purchase. Don't be a dummy. Don't go out there and just start buying just to buy or just to have the latest and greatest. If this helps you guys, like and subscribe. And I will see you guys. When do I see you guys? Next Sunday. Yeah, like always. Take care.